be the best part of the video. I'll tell you guys what. I am so happy that I don't have my dreadlocks anymore, so I can wash all of my hair and put it up in my turby twist, because oh gosh, that was difficult. I just took a super hot shower. It's not quite warm enough, even at this elevation, for the water to warm up naturally in the sun. Like, it gets like lukewarm but not warm enough, and I had to wash my hair. And you know, when you get your head wet, it's even colder. So I heated up some water on my stove, a full kettle worth. Oh my gosh, it was so hot. It felt so good. So I'm doing all my skincare now. Winston's passed out in his playpen. And if you didn't see on my short form video playlist, I have a video about how to shower with my entire shower system. So be sure to check that out if you haven't yet. Oh, sorry, I wasn't gonna get your bone. I got out my Rofi panel to charge up my rock pals. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I have my towels hanging up from my shower. Gotten a lot done today as usual. I've been working on so much content, but honestly, this weather is so helpful, because when the weather is perfect for me, I can get a lot done. Y'all, today's one of those days where I actually made a second cup of coffee. The caffeine doesn't really affect me in coffee, but it's like I'm lazy. It's like 10:15 when Winston's still like passed out. Normally we're out of the van by now, like out of the van by 10. But anyways, so I'm sipping on my second cup of coffee this morning. And so last night, Todd and I had a fire, and one of my followers, Gary, brought up a good point. He asked how often I have campfires, unless it's like a social gathering. The answer is never. Like, I won't have a campfire if I'm by myself, unless I have stuff to burn, which is rare. So even if I have like one other person at camp, I'll make fires. But Todd and I had a fire last night. And we were out kind of late, despite the fact that, like, it was chilly. You know, we're having chilly nights. Like, I think the other night it got down to like 38. And so then the evenings are much chillier than like when we were just in Payson. But it was like 8:30 or so, pitch black. And the thing is, when you're in the forest camping, you can't see shit. I mean, it is pitch black. Like, if you are going camping in the forest, make sure you bring lots of outdoor lighting if you're going to be outside after dark. Or in the case that you do have to be outside after dark. So anyways, we were sitting there like listening to music, and pitch black, just the fire, and we were just like chatting, whatever. And all of a sudden I saw vehicle lights, like from a big SUV or a truck, and I could see the headlights, and I could see on the sides of the vehicle there were like additional lights, and to me it looked like a ranger or police. And the thing is, I had checked earlier in the day fire bans and restrictions, and I couldn't find that there were any whatsoever. So especially, yeah, we don't really have risky conditions up here right now for forest fires. So I had checked, didn't find anything, so we were okay to make the fire. But then I started to get nervous because I was like, oh my God, like maybe somebody like reported our fire, even though we haven't seen the neighbors over here, and there's like a neighbor, there's only one other neighbor who can see us, so like maybe they reported us or something. But to get into this spot at night is going to be extremely difficult, like to find us, and it's because it's so freaking dark, and we're really back here in this camping area. So I figured who would be driving back here besides law enforcement or a ranger. So I went back to my van to get my phone because I didn't have my phone on me. I just left it in the van. And Winston was in there sleeping. So I got my van and I was like, oh, if this is the cops, or whatever, I'm just going to start to record, mainly for content, like, let's be honest. But I didn't feel like we were doing anything wrong because I had checked fire bans. So I was prepared to stand my ground on that one since there was nothing online. But I have some footage real quick just to show you, so you can hear kind of what happened in that moment. I don't know. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it is her neighbor.
Usually if the cops, I think they get like a spotlight on her.
That's pretty good to see through the dark like that. I went and grabbed my phone because I was like, if this is cops, I'm going to record it.
Oh.
But yeah, see, that was my guess, is that there were two vehicles over there.
Well, he's saying that dead.
Yeah. So it turns out it was our neighbor that I haven't seen since, because I arrived here on Monday. I hadn't seen anybody over there, even though there's a vehicle and a big trailer. Well, it was an additional truck. And so they drove like around our camp. I mean, it was late. But so yeah, it just ended up being our neighbor. And so it worked out. Nobody else could have found this spot besides like our neighbor. And as Todd mentioned in that clip, like if it was law enforcement of some sort, they probably would have had a spotlight on their vehicle. They didn't, but so yeah, thankfully we didn't get in trouble. But again, there's nothing we could have gotten in trouble for because there aren't any fire bans or restrictions. So either way, crisis averted. I love when I have all my solar out. Free energy from the sun. So we have a van that showed up in the distance at some point. They're quite a ways over there. And it looks like the neighbor who was kind of in front of me, looks like they left. Now, the neighbor who showed up last night is in that fifth wheel over there. And there's a truck that's been parked there, but there was an additional truck that showed up last night and now it's gone this morning. So I don't really know what the deal is. Maybe they're like, I don't know, I guess they're just gone during the day or something. But they drove like around the perimeter here. I mean, I'm very impressed by their skills to see where they were going at night. So I am headed home tomorrow for a few days. I have 2 baseball games to attend this weekend. So I will be home a very short stint, like 3 nights, and then I'll probably be back on the road for a couple of weeks. My plan is to come back to this location because, again, the weather next week is going to be in the 60s. And then that weekend, so like a week from today, Friday, I will go to Payson because that's Mother's Day weekend. So I'll be spending that weekend with my mom at her Payson home. And then I'll probably come back here to this area. And then the next weekend, go home because I have more baseball games. So after this weekend, I'll be on the road for a couple of weeks. And The weather will still be nice in Payson then, like in the mid 70s, so that will be good. But I'll just be hanging out with my mom, and I think my brother's going to come up as well, so we can spend Mother's Day with her. So that's kind of the tentative plan. And I guess I'll wrap up this video in the meantime. So thank you so much for being here and for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new here. I will see you next time.